Namaste, hello and welcome to Be Vivant, everything that's healthy, happy, alive and living to its fullest. We're going to do a prenatal third trimester yoga class today. So that's anything from the beginning of third trimester right up until the end. I'm currently already at 40 weeks, so if you're at 40 weeks, end of the term, then you're welcome also to practice this class. So let's get started. I've got here just a few props with me, just in case we might need to use them. I've got a cushion, something representing a bolster, and I've also got a couple of blocks. So feel free to get some cushions or things that you might want to use around you. Like I said, I'm at 40 weeks. Everybody's at different stage, even during the third trimester, and what you'll be able to do or won't be able to do is really going to be up to you. You're going to have to really listen to your body. So just go with the flow and do what's right for you and don't do what you feel like is pushing. I'm a yoga teacher, so I've been practicing throughout my pregnancy. If you're just coming to this class as a one-off, you might want to slow it down or really listen to your body and do less of the movements. But let's see. In any case, even at 40 weeks full term, we're able to do a lot still in yoga. So let's just get going and see what we can do together. So we're going to come down onto our mat, all fours first of all. I'm just moving the props away, spreading my fingers nice and wide, making sure my knees are parallel. And I'm going to just relax my back first of all. There might be some pressure on your back here because of the size of your belly. So just if you do feel that, just tuck the tummy in, push the hands against the ground and start like this. We're going to do some nice slow cat-cow, just engaging our breath, breathing out and breathing in to round the back. And then coming back through, breathing out, allowing the hips to come up, allowing the wave to come through the neck up to the head, gaze comes up, and then pushing back against the mat to round the back. And using your breath. We can even close the eyes here if you'd like and just appreciate the movement in the spine. Relaxing the tummy, relaxing all the muscles around the tummy, and just working into the spine, finding a little bit of mobility, first of all here. Bending the elbows slightly, and then pushing back and straightening the arms. Nice. One more time. One cat and one cow. Super. Okay. We're going to take the hands out a little bit wider, nearer to the edge of the mat. And we're also going to take our knees out wider. We can keep our toes together. And we may just want to also bring our hands up a tiny bit. We're going to do some rotations in the hips here. So just coming around on one side and then coming back up. Just feeling the rotation coming from left to right or right to left. And the body is moving back and forward a little bit at the same time. And again, once you've got the move, we can just close our eyes here, make sure all the fingers, every part of your hand is engaged on the floor, on the mat. And then we can start engaging our breath, breathing in, breathing out with the movement, nice and slow. Feeling and being aware of this rotation in the hips. And then we can turn the other way. So make sure your
your knees are nice and wide apart, so you've got room for baby, room for the belly. And a few last times here. One last time. Nice. We're going to bring the knees in ever so slightly. Bring the hands to the top of the mat and take a nice long cat stretch back, opening up in the shoulders, bringing the elbows down towards the ground, but you can keep them slightly lifted if you'd like, and just place the head on the ground. You can also use here a pillow or a cushion to place the head on the ground if you'd prefer. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. Like I said, don't hesitate to press pause or slow the video down. Take the time you need to really listen to you and your body, because every body is different, especially during this pregnancy process. Nice. Feel the energy coming from fingertips all the way to the lower back as we breathe in and out. If you're aware, you may feel that the weight of the belly is just lifted from the pelvis as it falls down a little bit towards the heart. Use of gravity. And here slowly we're going to come up, take your time, engage the belly a little bit to protect the back, and we're going to come back to all fours, knees aligned and hands aligned. Nice. A few deep long breaths here. It's really a period to enjoy and savor the moment being in the third trimester. Okay, so I'm going to lift up one arm all the way up to the sky, breathing in, making a nice parallel line between the opposite shoulder and the fingertips. And then I'm going to place that arm in between my knees and the other hand and just lie my cheek on the floor. I may again need to just space out my knees a little bit to create some room for the belly. And the other hand's just going to come and reach up towards the top of the mat, opening into our shoulder, a tiny twist happening here in our back. Breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing down. Again, for the head, if it's more comfortable on a cushion or a pillow, try that. A few more long breaths here. And then slowly, the hand that's at the top of the mat watches and wiggles its way back to come back towards the position originally, pushing up, and that allows us to just take our other arm out. So readjusting here. And then we're going to come to the other side, bringing the arm all the way up to the sky, making a nice parallel line between the opposite shoulder and the fingertips, gazing up as we breathe in and as we breathe out, bringing that arm in between the knees and the opposite arm, just taking the cheek down onto the ground and wiggling our hand, the other hand back towards the top of the mat, breathing slow and deep here with the nostrils. One more long deep breath here. Super. Wiggling and walking that hand back down towards its original position to push back up against the ground. It's important to protect the tummy and use the power of the hand to push against the ground. Placing both hands down. we're going to come into the middle of the mat and either use a cushion or maybe the block and just place it in between the legs and come take a seat down onto that cushion or block. So here we're just protecting the legs and making sure that we're not restricting the blood flow in our legs by sitting up on a block or a cushion. And we're just going to lift the arms up towards the sky and then again bend down forwards. This time rounding the neck towards the belly and just saying hello to your belly this morning, saying hello to Baba. Maybe you can feel him or her moving, enjoying the yoga with you. Nice. And then just taking the hands back onto the knees or the thighs. So I'm going to go into a back bend now. We've done a lot of forward bends. So just to let you know, prepare yourself. You may want to use the blocks. I'll show you where you'd want to position them. Here in line with your feet. So I'm going to place my hands, fingers pointing out. As I breathe in, pushing into the blocks, opening up the chest, gazing up towards the sky. Protect the lower back by engaging slightly the tummy muscles, bringing your organs up towards your heart. Nice. Breathe out, come back down. So either using a block or something that you have in your house that's similar, coming to that again, or deciding to take the blocks away and trying with the hands flat on the ground. Now it's really rotation in the hips, in the shoulders, that come back, straightening the arms, fingers, and every part of the hand down on the ground. As we breathe in, pushing the hips up, bringing all the organs up towards the heart, protecting the lower back, gazing towards the sky for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Breathe out, coming back down. Super. And we're going to stay on the cushion here and either bring something representing a bolster or maybe a block again, just taking the knees out nice and wide and bringing the head onto this bolster, the arms by the side. This is our child's pose adapted for our 3rd trimester. Breathing into the lower back, adjusting the cushion if you need to for the space of your belly. Being nice and soft today in your belly. Hands open towards the sky, ready in acceptance for what's to come. Gratitude. Nice. And we can just place the palms of the hands back down on the ground, lifting back up, moving our prop out of the way. Taking our time, we're going to come to a standing position. So I will meet you there in that standing position, moving all props off of our mat, just placing them behind you or to the sides. So I'm going to take my feet nice and wide apart, a little bit wider than hip width, and just relax my shoulders down and finally place my hands on my hips. And we're going to do some nice simple circles into our hips. Really important to find and create space in and around the hips here in the 3rd trimester, in the 3rd term of our pregnancy. So just coming one way, and we can close the eyes again if we'd like. Super. And then we're going to turn the other way with the hips. Coming back to center, just placing our hands on our belly, feeling either the warmth or the coolness of the belly, feeling if there's any tightness here,
baby's relaxed. Just relaxing the muscles in our face. Breathing through the nostrils. Brilliant. And then gently opening the eyes again. So we're going to come and do some more hip openings. I'm going to come onto one side, placing my foot at the front, and then just taking the opposite knee down onto the ground. I'm going to use my blocks either side of this foot that's here at the front, and just place them either side of my mat and use them for my hands, and gently shifting that other leg back behind me as far as I feel I want to go today. Pushing my hands against the block, feeling that opening in the hip, just trying to make sure that our leg, back leg and front leg are aligned with one another and not wandering off all over the place, so that our hips are aligned and we can just allow the hips to fall down towards the mat here. Trying to keep the head aligned, so once we're in position we can just gaze forward a little bit, breathing here nice and slow. Super. If you're like me, you've been sitting a lot these last few months, so we're gonna take ourselves back and open up behind the leg. So I'm moving the blocks back with me, just moving any other props out of the way if needed, and I'm going to lift up that front foot, straighten out the back here, and just breathe into the opening that's happening underneath my front leg here. One more long breath. Super. And then we're going to come, place the foot back down onto the ground and bring the blocks back with us towards the front. We're going to come into a small twist here. So either keep that opposite hand to the foot that's in front of you, either keep the block outside, or you might just want to bring it onto the mat to create a little bit of a tighter twist. And as we breathe in, we're going to lift our arm up towards the sky and feel the twist in the back. Gaze comes up towards the hand and the sky as well. Breathe here. For those that might want to do a bend, coming round and just opening up a little bit more in the shoulder, we can take the hand behind the back, palms facing out. And if you want even more of a challenge, toes on the ground, we can lift up that back leg and feel even further that rotation, just bringing the heel back down towards the ground to straighten out the back leg. Nice. Breathing out, taking the knee back down, toes back down, arm back up towards the sky, and then back down onto our block. And we're going to come back to that original second position, at least, where we're opening back behind the leg, lifting the toes up towards the ground, towards the sky, sorry. Now, if it's too easy, it may well be, you can take the blocks out and just place the hands on the ground. Just try not to round the back, but keep the back nice and straight. Breathing here, stretching into that muscle, that area behind the leg and knees that often gets tight if we're sitting for too long. Super. And one last time, bringing the blocks forward, taking the front foot back down, aligning the legs, the hips. Now again here, you may want to try this without the blocks, with the hands on the ground, just making sure you give yourself time and space for your belly. Once you're in position, just taking the gaze up to align the neck with the spine.
Super. Okay, let's come up and out of that position. We're just gonna do a little move in the middle, standing just to create a little space, rolling the shoulders, wiggling the hips here a little bit, taking your time to come up and find that space in the hips, in this spinal area also, before we come to the other side. So I'm going to take my blocks with me and take my front leg forward, placing my blocks down, just first of all taking the knee down onto the ground, almost parallel with the hips. And then I can gently shuffle that leg back until I get to a spot that's comfortable for me today, making room for my belly, placing my hands flat on my blocks, taking my foot down, making sure my back leg and front leg are aligned. I just want to wiggle my foot back a little bit. Nice. And then once you're in position, just taking the head up to keep the neck in alignment with the back. Breathing here nice and deep into the belly via the nose. Well done. Okay, we're going to take our blocks with us, keeping both feet and knees exactly where they are, and then lifting up that front leg, again creating space for the belly, making sure our hands are where they feel comfortable, and just opening up behind that front leg, feeling the stretch. A few more nice deep long breaths here. Super. Taking the foot back down at the front, we're going to bring our blocks back towards the front. Again, creating space for the belly. Now we're going to focus on the opposite hand to the foot that's in front, just moving the other block out of the way, either keeping that block where it is or bringing it in slightly just to create a little bit more of an intense twist. And as we breathe in, we're going to take that arm up towards the sky with the gaze coming up as well, breathing here nice and long. Super. Binding behind the back if you want, so just bringing the hand around behind the back to open up the shoulder, palms of the hand or palm of the hand facing out. And for those that want another challenge, taking the toes on the ground, lifting up the back leg and pulling the heel down towards the ground to open out the back leg. Nice. Then taking that knee back down, toes back down, breathing in, arm up towards the sky. And as we breathe out, taking our hand back down onto our block. We can take our hands to the sides and we're going to come back for that second position, bringing the blocks with us, opening up behind the back of the leg. Again, here if you want to try without the blocks, just placing the hands on the ground creates a little bit more of an opening behind the leg if you're able to, relaxing the shoulders back, keeping the gaze forward. Nice. And then just for fun, one more time, bringing the blocks forward again, opening back into the hip here again. Again, trying without the blocks if you want to, if you're able to. Relaxing the hips down, feeling that opening happening here in the front of this leg, stretching also a little bit into the ligaments in our belly, which is really nice and helpful. Creating space for baby. Super. pushing back, and we're gonna calm this time and sit down. So I'm gonna bring back my cushion onto my mat, and I'm gonna come and just sit into a cross-legged position. If it's the most comfortable for you today, bringing and tucking your heels in towards you if you prefer, or even coming into lotus or half lotus if you want and are able to. I'm just opening the palms of my hands up towards the sky, taking my shoulders back, keeping my back nice and straight, just engaging a little bit my lower back to protect the belly again here. Closing my eyes. Breathing nice and slow, focusing on our breath. Coming inwards to focus on the movements in the body. Sensations here. Hopefully we are feeling invigorated and calm. In this third trimester, we can feel baby moving more and more, relating to that feeling that we get when baby moves, that joy that comes to us, knowing that we're creating this little being in our womb, in our sacred space. Just being thankful to be able to hold this space for our baby. Thanks and gratitude to yourself, giving yourself the space, the time, the energy to create this other being, this beautiful little being that's forming inside you. Allowing the belly to slightly inflate as we breathe in and deflate as we breathe out. And we can bring our hands together in prayer, just in front of the heart space. And just bow our head down towards our hands, thanking ourselves for our practice today. It's not always easy to practice, especially during third trimester when we feel fatigue, maybe some aches and pains. So I want to thank you and allow yourself really to bathe in the gratitude for yourself today. Gently lifting the head, opening the eyes, coming to Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed your practice, this very gratifying, calming, and yet invigorating practice that we did. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I wish you a pleasant rest of the day and pleasant rest of your third trimester. Namaste.